My friends all say I lost my mind, lost my mind. I keep talking about you all the time, all the time. I can't help but treat you like you're mine, like you're mine. Yeah, my friends all say I lost my mind, lost my mind. I keep talking about you. I'm so fucking mad, I know, yeah. 'Cause you're driving me insane. Don't you say I never told ya. Loving you is such a waste. Such a waste of my time. Such a waste of my life. Thanks for breaking my heart. And those feelings that we both had when I leaned in and you pulled back and you said that I can't have your love. My friends all say I lost my mind, lost my mind. I keep talking about you all the time, all the time. I can't help but treat you like you're mine, like you're mine. Yeah, my friends all say I lost my mind, lost my mind, lost my mind. I've been different since I met you. All my friends, they say I've changed. And I've been trying to forget you, yeah. But you've been stuck inside my brain. Such a waste of my time, such a waste of my life. Thanks for breaking my heart. My friends all say I lost my mind, lost my mind. I keep talking about you all the time, all the time. I can't help but treat you like you're mine, like you're mine. Yeah, my friends all say I lost my mind, lost my mind. My friends all say I lost my mind. Yeah, my friends all say I lost my mind.
My friends all say I lost my mind, lost my mind. I keep talking about you all the time, all the time. I can't help but treat you like you're mine, like you're mine. Yeah, my friends all say I lost my mind, lost my mind.
My friends all say I lost my mind, lost my mind. I keep talking about you all the time, all the time. I can't help but treat you like you're mine, like you're mine. Yeah, my friends all say I lost my mind, lost my mind. My friends all say I lost my mind. Yeah, my friends all say I lost my mind.
Hello, are we live? Test. Justin?
Yes,
Okay.
seems to be live. There we go.
Hello Reaper people, how you doing? Good day. Welcome to the first, and what I hope more will come, of this Reaper's Den show thingy. How you doing, Justin?
Doing great. How about you, man?
I'm doing alright. Me and Justin actually spent a lot of time chatting earlier before going live. We had a good chat about food and pizza and hamburgers and stuff. Let me check. Is the music volume good? Is my voice volume good? Is Justin's voice volume good? Is everything alright, guys? From the chat?
Testing audio.
Hello. Okay. Should be good. So, as you see, we have a little fryer here on stream. I actually didn't choose this model. My own chat did. So, we're gonna be painting this guy tonight. I don't know how much I'm gonna be able to get done in the short time we have available, but hopefully more than enough for you guys to see me paint. I can show you what I can do though, is show you guys a couple of Reaper models I have on my desk that I painted in these last few months, so maybe you can have an idea of what I do when I paint a puppet. So we got ourselves, it's gonna be weird for me too because I don't have a direct feedback. Okay, we have this dragon here, which I have painted for a commission. I love this model, by the way. Like, I cannot believe you guys priced this $24. Like, it's insane. It's so well priced and it's so good as a sculpt. So, great job there.
Oh, I love it. Yeah, it looks great.
And we also have
The vibrancy in color too.
Thank you. I worked a lot on that. It was really fun to paint. And I also have a little Jacob Jensen model that he sent to me. I enjoyed painting this guy quite a lot. I think he came out pretty nice. I'm sure Jacob Pex looks like this in real life as well. I am sure of that. So yeah, hello everybody, welcome to the stream. I hope you're having a great day. I am gonna try to... Man, there's a lot of people in chat, that's amazing. Welcome everybody. I'm not gonna greet each and every one of you individually, but you're all welcome. I hope we have a good time here. One thing I wanna make clear from the get-go is that you are more than willing to ask me questions along the whole duration of the stream. I read the chat constantly, so any question you have about what I'm doing, about painting, if you even, I don't know if Justin is okay with it, but I can also show on-screen pictures, which means if you guys have pictures of models you have done and you would like feedback or share it, you can do it. As long as it's not like a constant spam of pictures, I'm more than willing to do it.
Yeah, I'm okay with it as long as it doesn't break 2S.
That's exactly. Exactly. So to get on the model, I've done a pretty weird thing that you might have not seen very often. What I did was prime the model in a bright color, a white, and then I gave it a wash with a black. I could have also done zenithal priming if I wanted to. This was just quicker for me to do. The reason why I did a black wash was to make it so that the recesses would stay dark, allowing me not to have to see like little dots of white in the shadows, which are super annoying to clean up. Whenever you prime a model in a bright color, like a white or a gray, the most annoying thing is always cleaning up the little recesses that have that little white primer in there that you can't get to. So like, doing a quick wash before working on the model is a fantastic way to get it done immediately before we get to work on it. Which dragon was that? That was Kafraxis, I think? I don't remember his name.
Right. Kyphrixis? Yeah.
The copper dragon, but I painted it red. Hello everybody. Hello Sammy. Hello Jedi. Hello Colin. It's going well, man. How you doing? Alpaca time, yes. So yes, okay, so I'm gonna get started on this guy. I kind of decided for a color scheme with the chat of my own stream today. We're gonna make him dark-skinned with a teal-looking cloak. So let's just base coat very quickly both things and then get to work on that. I have a few colors I have ready here on my desk. I'm gonna be using Violet Shadow from Reaper, of course. I'm gonna be painting only with Reaper colors. And yeah, let's get started. I have my wet palette ready. Let me try to get it in camera. Okay. Oops. Let me shake this a bit more. Hello, Planar. How's it going? Dan, do you have a sleep? I do, actually. I do. It's not very late here. It's only 10 p.m. Okay, there we go. For this dark color, I'm gonna be using also a brilliant blue, I think, for the cloak, and get started with that. Just gonna base coat both of them. If you hear a sound and you see my palette cam wobbling, it's because I have a vortex mixer that I use to shake paints. So I don't have to do the effort of shaking my hand. This is how lazy I am. Hello Rumble, how you doing? Okay. So let's quickly base coat both details. The reason why I primed the model this white, by the way, those of you who know me know that I usually prime my models black. The reason why I primed it with a gray is because I want to take advantage of Reaper paints. Reaper paints have a coverage that is I don't want to say weak, but that's the word. Like, they don't cover too well over a black, but they have an amazing blending potential, which means that if you prime the model gray or do a zenithal like Anna did in the previous stream, you're gonna be able to get some really good coverage. You could prime black if you want, but it's just gonna take a little bit more to get that coverage done. So yeah, we're just gonna be base coating the blue here. And earlier, Justin was talking to me about the Texan burger, and I have to come to the US. I was actually planning on going to get some burgers for ReaperCon this year before COVID hit. I was really looking forward to it, but no luck there. Hopefully next year. Lots of alpacas here. Yes,
I meant to send you a TripAdvisor thing like you did for pizza for the burger that I had, so you can check out the stuff. Because
yes,
they've
please.
got the artisan burgers, kind of like the pizza places you were showing me.
Yes, I showed him a local pizzeria that does some insane pizzas, and they look beautiful too.
That they do.
You and me both, yeah, man. Hello, MG. Someone put an Italian in my Reaper. Do you want a new Reaper now? Do you want to see the manager? All right.
You know what we could do too, going forward as an idea, since this is kind of meant to be a test run, a technical test run, a joking around with ideas for the show, what people might want to see. We could take the title every week we do a show and also put it in Italian.
That would be neat. That would be neat. So tonight's stream would be show della Reaper senza titolo.
Yeah, let me punch that in real quick. Hold on.
Show della Reaper non titolato. Starring. How do you say it in Italian, starring? I don't know. Like, some English words, I know what they mean and I use them all the time, but I wouldn't be able to quickly translate them in Italian if I had to. Because over these 2 years of streaming, I ended up thinking in English now. Like, I don't think in Italian anymore very much. Starring. Con Luca di Mia Tusden. Mia Tusden in Italian sounds so stupid too. It's La Tana della Miniatura. It sounds so stupid. Same problem with me and Finnish, yeah, dude.
What do you think we should name this show, by the way? I know we talked about possibly asking the chat and see what they wanted to do. Do you have any ideas?
Yeah, what do you guys think? Well, if we end up actually having a show going on, because this is a test stream, so might not happen, you know? But in case it does, what do you guys think should be the name of the show while I base coat this dark teal cloak? So I'm just gonna take a couple of layers to get the coverage I need. The Reaper's Den? Yeah, Reaper's Den was the one I was thinking about too.
Sound pretty good. Alpaca's Crib.
Alpaca's Crib is also really...
Justin's European Adventure.
Justin's European Adventure also is pretty good. I like that one too. Miniatura Den, Spicy Club di Pittura Italiana. I can teach you guys Italian if you want.
I meant to tell you earlier too, because we were joking around about this when you were talking about how we were talking about burgers.
Yeah.
And you pointed out that you said burger differently.
Yeah, I said burger.
Yeah, and every time I hear that, I honestly, and you may remember this, may not, I cannot help but think of the Pink Panther movie with Steve Martin.
Oh yeah, I've seen that movie, but it's been so long.
I believe his character is Italian. I'm not 100% sure.
No, it's
but
French.
He says French, but he says burger a lot in the same way.
It's a very European way of calling burgers. Because burger is difficult to pronounce in the proper way, actually. How do you say it?
Say burger.
Burger. Yeah, it's tough, man. I would rather say burger. I also have the same issue with the color purple. I don't call it purple, I call it purple. Which kind of was... It's kind of a meme in my stream.
Kind of a natural inclination to roll R's almost.
Yeah, well, my language rolls R's a lot. Like, for example, a common tongue twister in Italian is orrore, orrore, ho visto un ramarro marrone. We roll our R's quite a lot in Italian.
It's impressive. Definitely not something I can do very well. But English here is also kind of a... We kind of just tear everything up and fashion it together how we want in English.
I mean, I'm happy people still watch me after 2 years of this broken English I've displayed. I hope you guys from Reaper stream don't mind my accent. If you do, I am so sorry.
I will say though, your English is pretty good, honestly.
Thank you.
For if you consider that broken, then my version of broken is probably much worse.
No, the grammar is fine, I would think. It's the pronunciation that might need some work. But,
Did you grow up learning
no.
English? Did you learn it from streaming?
I learned it from my own volition, so to speak, when I was like 14. Let me lower the music a little bit, because it is loud in my ears. When I was 14... Sorry? Okay, when I was 14, I used to listen to American music like anybody else on the planet, right? And I was getting mad at the fact that I didn't understand what they were saying. So I was getting sick of looking up the lyrics of every song every time I heard one that I liked. So instead of doing that, I just decided to learn the language. I spent like 6 months watching TV shows, reading in English, stuff like that, and I eventually was able to learn the language. So I think...
That's cool.
Okay, I think we are all right for now with the base codes here.
Did they offer English in school growing up for you though? If you want.
Oh yeah. You do have English. You do have English lessons. One cool trivia of my past is that one day I was in high school, I think, and the teacher, one of the teachers, English teachers of another class was sick, and they couldn't find a replacement for her. So they called me in to teach English in another class, even though I was a student. It was pretty funny. I did like a 2-hour lesson. Thank you, Francis. Thank you. Alright, so I am testing out the colors here. One way of painting that I have that you guys might not be familiar with, because it's very common to see painters have clear ideas about what they want to do. I am not that kind of person. I very seldomly have good ideas about what colors I want to use on a model. I tend to paint by looking for inspiration as I paint the model. So usually I do a couple of coats of paint on a model, looking for, I don't know, definition on it. And while I do it, I change my mind and I change things up. For example, I was using a very dark brown purple for the skin as a base coat, but after I placed it, I didn't like it. So I immediately switched, like almost instinctively, I switched to a more bright brown, because I do want this guy to be dark skinned, as we said at the beginning. So like what I do know is the color scheme. So I want like a dark skin tone and a teal bright bluish cloak, but I don't know exactly how I'm gonna reach it. But I know that it's gonna look pretty good when I'm done with it. And that's kind of the point of this show, I think. Like one of the reasons why I'm here is because I have a very particular and personal approach to mini painting. I follow rules that I made up for myself, and it might be interesting for you guys to look into those as well, because there is never a single way to achieve something. Like one thing I'm very adamant on trying to teach people is that there are no techniques that you have to use. It's very common to see people who really like glazing, for example, or wet blending, or whatever technique, talking about it as if it's the only technique you should use, and that's very wrong, I believe, because it's important to be able to be flexible. And that's what I'm going to be trying to do here. Whenever I do something that I feel it's interesting to talk about, I will mention what I'm doing. For now, I'm just base coating, so I don't think anybody needs to know what I'm doing. I'm just looking to get the colors to be on the model cleanly, evenly, and smoothly, without any primer showing. Which is another reason why I never really use zenithal priming, because I don't need it. I go over it immediately. I don't... Anne has a very interesting way of painting. She uses the zenithal priming to achieve a bit of volumes. And by volume, I mean the geometrical shape on a 3D plane. So like a model is made of volumes, right? So like she achieves contrast on the volumes thanks to the zenithal by glazing, which is super interesting. I tend not to do that. I don't even know why I don't do it. I just like to base coat fully in a more Spanish approach, so to speak. And then I work up the highlights manually. I draw them on for 20 glaze it. I will English read here, then I'm supposed to have C2 level. I'm still stuck understanding lyrics. Depends on the song. Some songs I have issues with, like especially like rap songs. I have a difficult time understanding, but most others, not a big deal.
Oh, that's not just you. That's us too. Sometimes.
Oh, really? Like I like Eminem a bit.
You know, when you run words together and you bend words, it's even if you natively speak English, sometimes it can be more difficult to understand.
Yeah, like limericks in English, right? Limericks are so difficult to understand. Like I like Eminem because he is the one I can understand the most when he sings in rap music. Are my songs free to play within the US? They are, because Justin and the guys from Reaper purchased the same song license I use in my own streams. That made Reaper allowed to stream using these songs as much as I am normally on my stream. So we can use my playlist also on Reaper.
Absolutely.
Pretty neat, right? Okay, so we got our base coats. So far, nothing incredible. It's not looking amazing, but hopefully it's gonna change. I really like this model. When I was told that I was gonna be painting for you guys, I chose a few models from Reaper catalog. And today, during my normal stream, I asked the little alpacas to choose which one they wanted. And when they saw these guys, there was like a massive uproar. Everybody wanted to see the thick monk being painted for whatever reason, honestly. I have no idea. Like, I'm known for my non-metallic metal. This guy has no non-metallic metal on him. It's gonna be fun to paint, nonetheless. I don't know if I can show examples of models I've painted if they aren't from Reaper, Justin.
No, you're completely free to. Like if you, so we often tell our people, our talent, this, that you don't have to just show our products necessarily. So if you paint other things and you have good examples, honestly, if you want to paint something else that's not ours, you're welcome to.
No,
we like to celebrate the whole hobby. So
you guys are amazing. Like, I'm gonna take advantage of this occasion just to tell you guys how much you've done for this hobby. You might have idea, but you have no idea how much it impacted me personally. Like, when I started streaming, I wanna share this story with you guys. When I started streaming, I come from a background where basically money was a legendary thing that I had never saw before. Like, before I started streaming, I never saw 50 euros at the same time in my pockets, ever. Like, I never had really good money to be able to afford paints. And when my stream was barely new, I had like 200 followers or something stupid. Like, nobody cared about me yet. I did approach Reaper, asking them if they were willing to send me a few paints. And Kit, your European manager, was super kind to me, and he sent me like 30, 40 paints. And he was so nice. And from there, man, like, you guys got my undying loyalty just because of that. You do so much for this hobby, so much, and for the people in it too. Some other companies should take a note from your book, I think.
I'm glad to hear that. We put a lot of. I'd like to believe that Collins and I's efforts for the outreach of the video program and stuff. We've put a lot of effort into it.
Yeah.
And that it's good to hear that hard work has not gone unnoticed. You know.
No, man.
I mean, obviously we get acknowledged within the company, but it's to hear our audience members say, "Hey, we actually really enjoy this. Thank you for doing it." It's fantastic news. It really is.
It is. It is. Absolutely is. There's nothing. It's something that's difficult to explain to people who don't do this sort of living that we do. And every time you do explain it, it comes off weirdly. But like the best way I can explain it is, there's nothing better than doing a job that gets rewarded with praise. Like more than money, what really makes a job worth doing is when people appreciate you for doing, because you feel like you matter. You know what I mean? Like so many times we get stuck in things that don't really have value and we're just doing them for the sake of doing them. While when you do a job that really impacts people and they appreciate you for doing it, and you feel like you are important, right? And that's so beautiful. So you guys are super important for this hobby. So thank you for being around.
Absolutely. And I'm glad,
Okay.
honestly, I'm glad Kit sent you some stuff, because Kit has done good jobs over there at the UK facility. I know that he went to a couple of different, or has been to a couple of different like conventions and stuff, and he's talked to people. He's done his own networking, which is then he's talked to us about it. And we obviously want to be as inclusive as we can be. So that includes anyone around the world. So at some point we'd like to. This channel, we'd like to have 24 hours of programming in some way.
That would be
We're
nice.
covering every time zone,
That would be nice. What we need to do first, I think, it's grow the Twitch community in mini painting, because that could be bigger, I believe. Like there's so many people doing mini painting and so few people know about Twitch. Like that needs to change, I believe. But I wouldn't even know where to begin.
I agree. I mean, it does, and I'm hoping that one of the better ways to kind of grow that community, you may have noticed, people probably have noticed that when we stream, I like to rate other people who are painting, who are doing 2D art, maybe even body paint, like Sky Daddy.
Yeah.
She's agreed to possibly even do a sponsored stream with us in the future at some point. When we can reach out and branch out to people who do a lot of this, it's a lot of the same concepts. It's just on a miniature, right?
Yes.
And if we can grow that community on Twitch, it's huge. I think that we'd realize that the more things we have in common, a part of the same art, essentially.
I mean, if you use paint, you're one of us. Pretty much.
You're correct. I completely agree.
Pretty much that. You're one of us. Hello, Raza, how you doing?
Oh, Sarducci, if we ever get to the point where we're actually running 24 hours a day, I mean, I think I'd like to believe we'd have some extra staffing to kind of make that happen. Maybe not. And you're right, I do need to sleep occasionally, but
yeah, you do, man.
As Collins and I never would have guessed. Yeah, as Collins and I never would have guessed when we started this. This was meant to just be videos, basically. It was never meant to be a Twitch stream. And then we kind of evolved into that. And now we've built, a decent community. We've met fantastic people like yourself. And it's just, now it could be so much more. And I think we've seen that vision and we want to make it come to life. So.
Yeah, because you started out as basically to sponsor / announce your Kickstarter, right? And then it became something else entirely.
It actually started with, that was the big launch platform, was that. It started with, what was it? It was reaperlive, and that was 2 years ago at this point, I think.
Okay.
Technically. And that was only on YouTube. And it was, we were counting dozens or even hundreds of views every day, right? Mm-hmm. Or not every day, but every week, essentially. And in doing that, we were like, well, how do we grow this? And then that's when I told Collins, I was like, hey, we need to move to streaming. We should do it on Twitch. We should grow it. Let's do this. And we talked Ed and Ron into it. Then it started with Reaper Live. And then that was, I think, a year and some time ago. And then it grew from there and grew. But then it really hit a growth spurt with the Kickstarter. When we decided to do that coverage, we did not plan to do that, by the way. A little insider tip.
Oh, really?
We did not plan to do that. We planned to cover it in the beginning, stream the thank you for the gift subs, Walking
Hey,
Carter.
Thank you, Walking, you sexy man. He's one of my alpacas. Thank
Look
you,
at that.
dude.
That's awesome. Thank you.
Thank you so much, man.
But we did not plan to do that. We did a streaming of the button pressing, and then we were like, we noticed a bunch of people are in there and they wanted to see more. And we were like, okay, why not? Let's just keep this going. And we did.
Yeah.
We just streamed like 8 hours a day for that entire week, basically. So
I think
even.
I think that Mathophile actually asked a very good question. So, what is this stream about? Random discussion while painting? I have no freaking clue, man. Ask Justin.
At this point, we're actually kind of trying to feel out what people might want to see. So, Mathfile, you're sitting here watching. If you could have the ability to completely direct the flow of what you see right now, what would you want to see?
You can't get rid of my nose though. That's attached to me. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you can't. You can't alter any part of Luca in any way.
Hey, Valandar. Thank you for the gift sub, dude. Non-metallic. Well, okay, I'll show you some non-metallic I've done. Because I did hint I have models around here that I have to show. So these are competition models. But whatever. I am a commission painter. I paint everything that gets thrown at me. So, like, don't judge me, please. But this is a model I've been working on for a little while. This is a non-metallic gold paint job I've been doing. I think the armor is looking pretty neat so far. But we still have a lot of work to do. Still in the gold non-metallic department, we have this dude here, which I have painted. This is a lot of non-metallic. This one took me a long time to get done, but I'm very happy with the results. And then on the bigger scale, we have this lady here. A vampire lady, which I've painted, and I recently completed the paint job of this other lady here, if I can pick her up without breaking the model, because it's very frail. But this lady here. So yeah, that's what I do. This is how I paint usually, and I'm gonna try my best to bring that painting to you guys. So the only issue I actually have with streaming like this, by doing the restream thing, is that when people tag Reaper, I don't see the tag in chat, which means one favor I have to ask you guys, if you can, please. If you have a question for me directly, please tag me then, because I am in chat with my own account. That way I can actually see the tag in chat, because I might miss questions, because the chat is going very fast. That's amazing, by the way. So yeah, only favor I have to ask you guys. If there is anything you would like to know about painting, or you want my attention for sure, just tag me then. Thank you guys, by the way.
That's a very good point. Yes, he's seeing the chat from his account's perspective. So, yeah, if you'd like for him to specifically see it, Miniatures Den. If you want me to see it, it's at Reaper Miniatures. And if you want to harass Collins, which I suggest everyone do, at Reaper Collins.
Yes, everybody tag Colin. Okay, so what I'm doing here with the model is sketching in the midtones. Now, you're gonna be hearing me say the word sketching the midtones constantly. And what I mean by that is that I don't believe in base coat, shadow, and highlight. There is a triad of painting that works absolutely fantastically. But if you want to go a step further from that, you can go and start working with the midtones, which means to try to explain it as easily and quickly as I can. The color of an object changes based on where it is, on where you're looking at it, even before shadows and highlights have a real impact on it. Which means if you look at an apple, the reds of the apple are going to be brighter and darker based on the volume of the apple, even before you apply a light source and a shadow. So that means that by sketching the midtones, I am lightly displaying the volumes, which is I am making stuff pop a little bit, not too much, a little bit. And then on top of this sketching, I will be able to push the highlights and push the shadows. So I don't know if you can notice it. Let me increase the exposure a little bit. Okay. You can notice now, like, you can see that we have a lot more shadows here than we have on the chest right now. That's because I'm working with the midtones. Which could be considered, like, more simply said, just simple highlighting. But it's not truly an highlight. I still don't have a light source placed. I don't know where the light is coming from, although it will most likely come from the front, from the top front, because of how the model is facing. Which is also an interesting thing. If you guys want to, I can explain it, like how to decide a light source. If anybody wants to, I'm more than happy to explain it. Okay.
They wanted me to ask what your favorite pizza topping is and why is it pineapple?
It is not pineapple. It is not pineapple. I have actually eaten pineapple pizza for a challenge here on Twitch, and I was about to puke. Like
You know, I'm gonna go ahead and share that with you as well. I know that is a common thing, particularly in Hawaii.
Yes.
But I will never be able to understand it because I do not like pineapple on pizza in any way. I will eat anchovies sooner on a pizza than I will pineapple.
We do have pizza with anchovies here in Italy. It is a
My only issue with this is how salty it can be. But if you get good anchovies, it works together. But I will not eat pineapple.
The thing is that like a real Italian pizza is not supposed to be salty. Like the difference between a good pizza and a bad pizza is how thirsty you are after you've eaten it. So like when you eat a normal pizza, after a couple of hours you're gonna become thirsty as heck and start drinking. That's a normal pizza. The real good pizza is the pizza that doesn't make you thirsty because they manage salt perfectly on it. So when you do have a really good pizza with good amounts of salt in it, you can actually have anchovies on it and it won't be salty. But if you have a normal pizza with anchovies, then it's gonna become saltier. So it's all about quality of the pizza itself. The quality of the dough decides what toppings can go on it. We're gonna get a rant. No, Trashorama, I am not gonna be smoking. I am never going to be smoking during a Reaper stream. And you also won't hear me say any curse word either. I know it's impressive, right? I actually look like a civilized man here. Painting a puppet for real. No smoking, no eating, no F words. How incredible is that? You know, if it works out, I might be starting to do it on my stream too. I'm impressed. Everybody's impressed. Hello, Arthur. Best behavior. Yes, I'm on my best behavior. I'm gonna be a good alpaca today. Okay, so you can see that it's slowly coming along. Right now, it's still nothing. Like we just got started, but we're gonna build this up slowly but surely. One of the good perks, one of the best perks of Reaper paints, because since I'm here, I might as well just tell you guys what's amazing about these paints, is their power of blending. Like, when you barely have to thin these paints to get them to blend with each other, when you layer them in. As long as the brush stroke is well done, as in as long as you're placing the paint correctly with the right amount and the right direction, which is not very hard, the paint will blend. So like, it's incredible to work with these paints because it does a lot of the work for you. Which is a good thing. I like when the paints work for me. Hello, Logan. Hello, zombies. I love pasta with sauce and ketchup. Pasta and ketchup is kind of an heretical thing around here in Italy. We never have pasta with ketchup. Like, I know pasta with ketchup is a college student kind of dish, because it's cheap and easy to make. So like, college students live off of pasta with ketchup, but our version of it would be pasta with butter. You make pasta and you just use butter as an extra thing for it.
That's actually what my fiance loves, is pasta with butter.
She loves
doesn't
it?
like yeah, she loves pasta with butter.
Wow, pasta with butter for me is like, if you see me eat pasta with butter on stream, it means I'm really in deep troubles economically. Because that's like the worst thing you can eat around here. Like, there was a time when I had to eat it like for like every day, lunch and dinner for like 2 weeks, a few months ago, and it was awful, dude.
I think I had it fairly often growing up as a kid too, actually.
No more pasta with butter. It's on my ad. It's one of my outlets when people donate to my stream. I get that as a sound. I didn't mean ketchup on pasta. I meant in. Oh, okay. I see what you mean. I see. Marika's my girlfriend mother also hates tomatoes, but she can tolerate them on some dishes. I need to try it. Pasta with butter. You never had pasta with butter, Celery? The US version of pasta and butter is ramen. Ramen is good though. Hello Quake, good evening, good evening. It's so nice to see the chat run so quickly. I'm so happy, dude. I don't know if it's normal for a Reaper stream to have so many people talking, but if it's good to have so many
It
chats.
depends on the show. I think for Reaper Live, it can be pretty hectic. It depends on what we're talking about. But I will say the turnout for kind of a short notice stream has been pretty good.
Dude, my alpacas are warriors. My people are always ready. I love you guys so much. How much butter would you add to a standard portion? I don't know. I don't know. Let me try to. If this is a piece of butter, you would have something like this. Something like this. And if it's not enough, you just add a bit more. Noodles with olive oil, black pepper, parmigiana, maybe some garlic. That's the ticket. Aglio olio is not bad. Just oil and garlic. It's another kind of pasta we make. Hello, Ordista.
That's really good.
My favorite kind of pasta is carbonara. Carbonara pasta is just insane. I had it once in Milan. Actually, carbonara pasta originates in Rome. So usually you wouldn't think Milan is a place where you eat good carbonara, but I went to a very fancy restaurant once because one of my friends was celebrating his birthday and his wife rented the place. They are very well off. So yeah, in that place they cooked the guanciale, the pancetta, which would be bacon in English, but it's not exactly bacon. It's difficult to explain what pancetta is versus bacon because they kind of are the same thing, but they aren't. It's weird. Anyway, they baked the pancetta with using a very expensive white wine. So while they were cooking the pancetta in a pan, they used wine to soak it, and it was incredible. And yes, carbonara is my favorite. If you could paint a model to commemorate your vacation to the Dolomites last week, what would it be? I don't know. They would have to make a model of me in holding Alvaro the alpaca, because that's the best moment of my vacation, when I got to finally get to meet an alpaca. Hey, take your Sean for the sub, man. It's like bacon on a higher level. Yes, pretty much yes.
To do more of a deep dive into, Luca and miniatures, then what's the origin of the alpaca?
Good question. So like when I started the stream, I actually thought a good mascot for the stream would be orcs, because everybody knows orcs. They're kind of well known in the 40k universe and stuff like that. So I thought orc was gonna be my mascot, and I had emotes done for orcs. But one day, kind of randomly, we started talking about cute animals, and I said that my favorite animal is the alpaca. I love alpaca. Like, alpacas are so goddamn cute, dude. Have you ever met an alpaca, Justin?
I have, actually. They're not entirely uncommon, I feel like, here, occasionally. But I saw them more specifically when we went on an exotic animal tour early this year in Louisiana. I got to hold baby kangaroos and that kind of stuff, all kinds of it, but they had an alpaca.
Okay, so you looked at it in the eyes, and you saw how beautiful his eyelashes were, because alpacas have beautiful eyes. So yes, I love alpacas.
They do, yeah.
Like, it kind of randomly came out. People in chat started spamming alpacas videos and pictures, so it kind of became our mascot, and we are the Knights of Alpac. Don't like arrabbiata. Arrabbiata is good. It's kind of like a carbonara, just a bit more spicy. I like arrabbiata. No, wait, maybe I'm wrong. Arrabbiata? No, what is arrabbiata, actually? Amatriciana is the one I'm thinking about, which is carbonara with sugo, which would be gravy, I think, and some pepper. Yeah, exactly, Marika. I met a 3-legged alpaca. What? What? What happened to it? Wait, is goddamn a curse word? I didn't know.
Yeah, I would say it is.
Sorry.
No, listen, that's not even the worst. But I would say that it is.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to say it and repeat it to confirm it was a curse word. I didn't mean to. I'm sorry.
Not a problem. I don't think people are going to immediately stop watching as a result.
Oh my god, he said GD. You see me glazing. I'm actually not. I mean, I am. Yeah, at this moment, I am glazing. At the moment, I am bringing out the volume. So, what's happening on the belly of this guy is that he has eaten a lot of carbonara pasta. So, he has a bit of a round belly. And I'm trying to bring that out a bit more to show the belly even more. And conversely to what most people think, it's not highlights that push a volume, which make an object look more 3D. So to make an object look more 3D, you don't have to add lights to it. You have to add shadows. So what I'm doing here is just gently glazing the dark blue I add as a base coat over the teal, as you can see. And doing this is pushing the roundedness of the belly. When I go and add the final highlights on the thing, it's gonna be making it a lot better. But first, I want to give some color to the skin tone, because right now it's looking a bit flat. Hey, thank you, Frances, for the sub, dude. Thank you so much, man. Okay, see, just, again, sketching in the midtones, nothing... I'm probably gonna be having to wear the crown of alpaca in a moment. Yes, I'm gonna be doing it. This is the crown of alpaca. Which is just a stupid visor. Yes, this would be the... Wait, let me see if I can manage to show you guys. This would be the definition of my vacation in Dolomites. This moment here, when I got... Look at my face, I look so stupid. When I got to have my mascot, which is Alpacino, the plushie, meet the alpaca, Alvaro. It was a beautiful moment. A beautiful moment. I loved it.
It does look like a cute alpaca.
It is super cute. It was super cute. It was so fluffy, dude. So fluffy.
Also, you look like someone who's had one of their dreams fulfilled. You look happy.
Man, I was so happy. You have no idea. Because I got to be close to alpacas once in the past, but they wouldn't let me touch them, which was awful, because there's nothing worse than being like an inch close to what you love and not being able to have it, you know what I mean? So like, that was worse than not seeing alpacas. So finally, this year, I got to meet one, I got to take it out for a little short walk, and it was beautiful, and I loved it. And his name was so cute, Alvaro the alpaca. So as you can see, I'm going for an orange-brown color to highlight the skin of this dude. And the reason why I do that is because skin tones, unless under specific circumstances when it comes to light source, but if you are under the sun, your skin, whatever skin tone you have, will tend to highlight into a yellow. Now, of course, black skin tones highlight less than a white skin tone would, because they are darker, so they reflect less light. So you have smaller highlights, but you still have them. So I'm taking this black skin towards a orange-brown, and I am then going to be able to highlight it a bit more.
Yes, thank you for the sub, Terlin. Thank you for the
you.
gift subs too from this stream. This is great to see you guys come out and kind of show the love and support for new stuff like this.
Yeah, man, it's beautiful. I'm so happy to be here, man. Like, I don't want to sound like a brown noser, but when I haven't been in this hobby, or in this, even less in this work environment as a professional painter for very long. I've only been painting for 2 years. So like, when I started out, one of my dreams was to eventually end up working for Reaper, and now being able to stream for you guys, for me it's like a milestone, man. I'll never forget this day. However it goes, even if the show doesn't happen, I will be still super happy about today. I'll be more happy if we actually get to have a show, but, you know.
I'm glad you're happy to be here, because that shows. That's one of the things that I try to, when we bring on new shows and new talent, I try to put them in the best mindset they can be in, because if the person doing the show is happy and wants to be there, it comes through in the content, and people want to be around it. But if it feels obligatory, then it feels stale, and it's kind of like when you cook with love versus when you don't cook with love.
Yeah, I completely agree with you, man.
You can tell.
It's actually also really nice to have you here too, because I stream many hours a day, and I don't really have a co-host, so to speak. So I'm on my own. Like it's a very refreshing thing for me to be able to talk to somebody like on voice chat. Actually, like it's nice.
You've never had your girlfriend on stream?
Yes, but her English is not as good as mine, so she doesn't talk too much. She sounds a bit like this when she speak. It's like Super Mario showed up on stream and started having a go at me. That's how she sounds. But she's sexy though, because she's a woman. Like Italian accent when it's thick on a woman, I think it's sexy. I don't know about you guys, but
I do like a good accent. I can second that.
Man, my favorite accent is the Scottish accent on a lady. It's just amazing. But yes, Soma. I've been painting for 2 years. I can actually show you my progress in a second, because the guy I showed earlier, the big dude on a dragon thingy, I actually painted this very same model 2 years ago. When I first started painting, this was one of the first models I've ever painted. And you can see the difference between this guy and this guy. It's the same model, just a little
one thing
bit
I'm
of progress.
quickly noticing too, in a lot of the stuff you're showing off.
Yeah.
And I can actually tell you this, because I think I had noticed this before when I had watched you, when I had scouted you out. Your use of vibrant colors seems to be pretty. Like, you don't seem to like muted tones, and I love that, because I personally like vibrant colors. So.
Muted tones are fun to use. I like them a lot. Like, for example, it's this lady here. I think it's a good example, because she looks vibrant, right? Because the green is vibrant. But if you think about it and you look at the model carefully, the reds, the skin tone, everything is very, very muted, right?
It is, yeah.
So I believe that it's interesting to have strong, vibrant colors against muted colors, because you push the contrast. Now,
I do love contrast.
Exactly. But when we talk about contrast, one thing people know for sure is the contrast between light and shadow, right? Like when somebody says, oh, it needs more contrast, what they mean 90% of the time is it needs brighter lights or darker shadows. Truth is, there are like 11 kinds of contrasts. The light and shadow one is just one of them. Now, that said, it's the most important kind of contrast. Like, there is a hierarchy of contrast. I don't know if you know this, but there is a hierarchy of contrast. There are many, again, 11, I think, kind of different contrasts. The most important one is value, which is black and white. And then you have volume, which is the interpretation of every little 3D detail and how you interpret it. And then there is warmth, which is contrast between cold colors and warm colors. And then you have like 7 other contrasts. Between them, there's the contrast of vibrancy, where a very vibrant color placed next to very desaturated colors will look even more vibrant, which is what happens in the green of this lady here. And like this lady here, and again, I'm sorry if I'm pulling out models that aren't Reaper, but these are the ones I have to show an example. Eventually I will build up a Reaper collection. But like, if you look at this lady together, they look fairly similar, even though this one is pretty much very only warm colors, and this one is mostly desaturated colors. And she's way more vibrant. But one cool thing that's happening on this lady here that's maybe difficult to notice at a first glance is that her shadows are very cold and desaturated, and the base is as well. So having a desaturated cold base pushes the vibrancy on the reds and the skin tone to a level that it's higher than it would be normally. And that's a contrast that's very, very valuable and needs to be used more, I believe. So that's what I'm going to be doing here, actually. Like, the skin tone is going to be a bit desaturated, a bit dark, because it's a black skin tone. And the teal of the cloth are going to be helping pushing all of that.
Absolutely. Like, I was gonna kind of add to that too. So I am more familiar with like the photography world, for instance.
Yeah.
Photography, and that is something that's very popular right now and has been over the course of the last few years. And you see it a lot of it on Instagram and on other like photo blog type situations or type setups where contrast is what's really, really hot right now. Enough that it makes things punchy, it outlines detail. Contrast is, in my opinion, contrast is king, right?
Yeah.
And I think that if you paint with contrast in mind, no matter what your goal is, it's going to come out well. And I think that principle often applies in photography. I imagine it transfers here too, since all of my understanding of colors and composition all comes from photography and videography.
Everything has a root in evolution. Like, we like to believe humans are intelligent, high-thinking beings, but we aren't at an innate level, in a sense that we are animals, and we have been animals for way longer than we have been society people and engineers and mathematicians, right? Humans have been around for way longer than society has. So everything we do at an innate level has to do with our animal aspect. And contrast is something we like so much because as animals, we were looking for food back in the days. So when you see a red apple on a green leafed tree, you see the red apple a lot. Why do you see the red apple a lot? Because green and red are opposite on the color wheel. Sorry, let me show you. Green and red are opposite on the color wheel. So there is a color contrast, a complementary contrast happening between the two of them. And that makes the red pop a lot more when you place it in a green environment, right? So like, we invented color theory and all of these cool things, but truth is, color theory is not something we invented, it's something we understood. Because we've been thinking in color theory way long before we were able to even speak to each other. Color theory is something that lives through us and with us since way before we built huts and stuff. Like,
right, it's more of a discover than it is an invention.
Exactly. It's like, we haven't invented the Americas, we just found them, right? Same thing with colors. We haven't invented anything, we just found it. And contrast is just that. Like, the way our animal minds were looking for food and danger, just looking for that stark contrast made us aware of it. When you saw, like, I don't know, a different color in an environment, you were like, oh, what's that? Is that a lion? Is that something I can eat? And the same thing applies to mini painting. We just want contrast in our minis because we make it pop. And truth is, you don't always want to have very strong contrast on your models. Not on all details. I'm gonna pull this guy out because here's a good example. Like, he has a very strong OSL happening, right? Object source lighting. He's basically in a very dark environment, and the only thing giving him his light is the book and the flames on his back, right? Now, I have a lot of contrast in the top right area of the model, but I have almost none on the bottom left. Like, the leg is painted but has very little contrast compared to this, right? Because contrast directs the view of the viewer. Like, through contrast, you force people to look at things the way you want them to look. So sometimes it's very important to have a lot of it. Sometimes it's very important to have none of it. If I had a lot of contrast here, like, I don't know, like a white agile light happening on the leg, you would look at the leg maybe more than you would look at the flame, and that would ruin the model. And this is called focal point. And it's a very, very important thing you can do in your minis. And you're going to be seeing me doing it on this guy as well. If we get to it. Today, I mean.
Oh, no problem. No, it looks great. I love it. I love the use of vibrant colors to create contrast. When often, like you said, it's lights and darks are the most default used, whereas, you know, using complementary colors to create vibrancy that may not otherwise exist. I mean, like I said, people do it in photography all the time.
Yeah.
It creates different art styles, and it's one of those things where to reinforce your point from the beginning, which is that no one style is the best way to get there necessarily, right? It's kind of all based on what works best for you and what you think looks great. And when you just, as cliche and cheesy as it sounds, when you just paint for yourself, you're going to get the best results. I mean,
I
just
believe
create what
that
you think looks good.
there are many ways to paint, and doesn't matter who you are, somebody will not like how you paint. Like, I've been called out for not liking the style of many famous painters which are better than I am at painting. And like, it's funny because like, how dare you say that that guy doesn't paint in a nice way if you can't paint as well as he does? And that would be true, but at the same time, it's art, so everybody's a critic, right? That's the point of art. We all understand it to an extent. And so, for example, I paint in a certain way. Some people love it, other people hate it, other people just don't care for it. So it's important to be the one that loves what you do. Painting to be liked by others will always leave you in a situation where you don't really like what you're doing. And that applies to everything in life, not just painting. Like, doing anything for other people, unless it's motivated by a personal sense of desire of doing so, like empathy. But if you do something because you know that that something is gonna get you something, you will feel dirty inside to an extent. Like, it's important to be able to be mindful of what you really want and try to pursue it in respect of others. And the same happens in mini painting. You have to do what you like. If others don't like it, then to hell with them, would say Conan. Right? So this is how I paint. I'm not expecting everybody to love it or like it. But it's important that I do, because if I do like it, I will be able to expand upon it, to learn from it, you know, like understand what I don't like about my own painting. If I look at myself, at my own work critically, starting from a point where I like what I do and I would like to be better at it, I am able to critique myself more. If I instead don't like what I do because I don't care, I'm just doing it for others, then I will never be able to improve because I never liked it in the first place. It's like, I don't know, when you love your girlfriend, right? And things don't go too well between you and her, and you have an argument or something, you don't leave your girlfriend, you just take your time to sort things out and fix, right? Because you love her. While if you are instead with like a college or like a high school crush and things don't go too well between each other, you just quit the relationship because you didn't really care much for her in the first place, right?
So, I completely agree. That core of values applies to not only painting, but I think that's what makes it a fantastic life lesson, is that if you, like I said, it's going to sound a little cliche, but if you follow your heart on stuff, then, I mean, it's going to lead you down roads that will often not burn you, where you will be happier in general. So look at food lineage, right? We talked about food earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Feudal Japan, you have the creation of what is essentially sushi for today, the practice of that. And you have so many different chefs that practice today that are doing things that they've always done because it's the way that feels right to them, and it's what feels like it preserves the essence of what they're doing. And when you stay true to the essence of what you feel that you're doing, it comes out, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, exactly.
Still talking about Japan, I don't want to get political, not on this stream at least. But like, one thing to note, objectively, statistically, is that people aren't very happy when they are in Japan. Japanese people, I mean. And one of the reasons is also because the culture is very much based about what others think of you rather than what you think of others. So like, it's all about the appearances there. So people sometimes just go in burnout and quit their job, or even end up killing themselves sometimes, because the culture is based about appearing nice to others. But maybe you aren't nice. Maybe you don't want to be nice, but you still have to, and then eventually you burn out, right? So like, it's very, very important not to be egocentrical, because no one's ego matters more than somebody else's ego. But it's important to be mindful of what you want from life, because you have to pursue it. You have only one life. So yes, you have to respect others. Yes, you have to be nice to people, but at the same time, you have to get where you want to be. Otherwise, you're not gonna live a life that fulfills you. And when you end up kicking the bucket, what are you gonna have to tell to yourself? Like, are you happy with it? Like, you have to pursue it at all costs. But
You may not leave life feeling fulfilled if you didn't stand for something that you felt was right. So if you decided you wanted to paint in some abstract way, no matter how often people told you that was bad, it's something you believed in, then you should just keep doing it, right? I mean, within the same confines of the initial statement, which is be nice to people, be respectful, be reasonable, right?
I'm sorry, I have to answer Francis' question.
Yeah,
did you
go
have
ahead,
any
go ahead.
formal art training before painting minis? No, I did not. All these ideas seem to come just easily to you. They come easily to me because I took a lot of time introspecting. Like, man, it's hard to explain, but I think that mini painting is like the best thing, the best self-exploring journey you can do. Mini painting or art in general, and I have done a bunch of it. Like, before I painted minis, I was living like an ape, in a sense that I did things, I said things, and I didn't know why I did it, because there was no point in asking why. It just happened. After I started mini painting, I had to start questioning my own way of thinking, because I needed to understand how I thought in order to change that thought process to achieve a better result in mini painting. And through that process of understanding myself, I got to know myself so much more. Like, Marika knows me, my girlfriend. She knows me, and I am a completely different person than I was 3 years ago, 4 years ago, for example. I got to finally know Luca by painting miniatures, by just allowing myself to have fun and just think about how to paint my little plastic puppets. And yes, for people that are outside the hobby, we might look like nerds or like big children for painting miniatures, but we aren't. We are actually... We are philosophers that don't know we are philosophers, I believe, because there is so much a journey of self-discovery when you paint minis that it's difficult to understand really how big it is as a journey, I think. But yes, I don't have any training in art. I just started painting minis 2 years ago to avoid bankruptcy. Yeah, I did watch YouTube videos when I started out. That's for sure.
That's the same for me. I do think people our age, Luca, millennials as it were, right? I do think that we have the penchant for self-teaching, unlike any other generation. This might be a hot take for somebody or some people, but I do believe that our generation has a natural ability to just pursue knowledge if it's something they find interesting. Granted, we have a lot more mediums than people have ever had, right? Internet, YouTube, like all kinds of resources. But for instance, everything I do technologically, all of my information in videography, I'm completely self-taught. My background, believe it or not, originally was computer science in college, almost 15 years ago. So that is what I was going for, but I taught myself computers, I taught myself programming, I taught myself everything, right? I've not had any formal teaching in any way, but I do think that resources out there allow us to explore those interests as they come, and we can really expand on it in a way that people were never able to.
You know, I've heard that our generation is called the problem-solving generation, because we are considered the generation that can solve problems. I disagree with that though. I think we are the generation that can ask questions. Like, our generation was able to start believing in our power of asking questions through Google or to authority, to politics, to stuff like that. Like, we just ask questions because we know we can find the answers, but that's a very deep thing to be able to do. Like, back in the days, if you were a farmer and you didn't know what the average lifespan of a tree was, you didn't have Google to ask it to. So, like, you just admitted your ignorance and moved on. While our generation is so interested in finding things out, even the most stupid things, but since we have the tools to find those things out, we are always eager to ask new questions, and that makes us better, I believe. Not better than other generations, but better humans over time.
Definitely better equipped.
Yeah.
And I think I agree that if you don't ask the right questions, you're not going to get the right answers to learn the right lessons, right? So the right question is every bit as important as the right answer. Not to get philosophical, but to get philosophical.
The farmer usually had the farmer's almanac. What is the farmer almanac? Oh no, me too, Image. I agree with you, man. I keep defending the new generation so much. Like, I believe they have way more potential than my generation has. Okay, let's keep highlighting the skin tone a little bit. I love the sound of the mixer. Thank you, Gorax. I think it's very important to follow a passion. Like, life is too short to not do it, right?
Really agree.
I don't know if people enjoy these kind of deep topics. I don't even know how we got here, man. It's just I have this aura of philosophical ranting. Even when I told myself, you're gonna go live on Reaper stream and just talk puppetry and mini painting. You're not gonna double into philosophical argumentation, okay? You're gonna be a good boy, and then I end up becoming a philosopher anyway. I'm sorry, guys. I hope you enjoyed.
I think it gives the stream fiber and a good concrete base. I think that in a stream where you can talk about contrast and understanding different techniques within the miniature painting world, and then flip around and discuss things philosophically from a why do humans learn facet, I think that actually is what's going to give a great stream or a great show long legs, or legs basically to go. I think as much as I love other shows that just hyper specifically do one thing and they do that thing, and I'm sure they do it well, but when you have something that is well rounded, I think it has more of a lifespan. So I actually think it's important, right? It's like, just like the rest of life, you need balance. We can't only talk about painting. People will go nuts. Maybe. I don't know.
Depends how sexy the voice is.
You know what? I've been told, Luca, over and over that I've got some sort of voice that people want to hear me read stories. You ever gotten that before? Because if you ask me, I think you have a much better voice than I do, especially for this.
People say I have the voice of a sexual predator.
Oh, okay. Never been told that, but
especially when I talk like this, they don't like it very much.
I used to do that actually when we were in studio recording these episodes. Or in Reaper Live, I would talk like that into my mic, and they would make fun of me constantly. Ed and Ron, that is.
Lol. No, but going back to the philosophy point, I think that life it's difficult to explain. So like, everything is connected. Everything is. Like, if you really wanted to, you could take mini painting and connect it to, I don't know, whatever other topic, and it would make sense too, because everything is connected in life. I don't think stuff is compartmental as much as we want it to be. It's a lot harder than that. So that's why sometimes I find myself just falling into the philosophy rants, because at the end of the day, like, everything is part of a bigger picture, right?
Absolutely.
Because that, like, eventually you will ask yourself, why do I paint minis? Because it's fun. Okay, so how do I define fun? Well, because it fulfills me. Then how do I decide what fulfills me and what doesn't? Based on what? And then that's when you become really philosophical. Like, you have no idea and you're trying to find it out, right? And you have to get into psychology or philosophy. And as you go through psychology and philosophy, you learn about things that you can use in mini painting. You didn't even know. Like, color theory is a very psychological thing. Like, psychology has a massive impact on the way you choose colors. For example, like purple is the color of nobility. So when you paint purple on a model, innately the model will look like it has some sort of authority. Red is the color of passion. So if you paint something red, it will look like it's a powerful thing, right? So like, every color has its meaning, and it's connected to psychology to an extent. Exactly, Gallo. That's how I see it too. Hello, Zyko. How you doing?
Also, another, since we've talking about kind of show scripting and kind of understanding what what the identity of this show might actually have, if it ever coalesces, of course. The identity, I mean, not the show. The show will likely exist. With that being said, how long would you guys want this show to be? Luca has told me that if we could start 9 p.m. his time and finish 9 a.m. his time, and he has no problem.
No, wait. Start 9 a.m. and finish 9 p.m. and 9 a.m.? No, I would die, man. I can start 9 p.m. Oh, okay, sorry.
May not have translated well, but no. But in all jokes aside, Luca did say he would go for a handful of hours. So if you guys want a longer stream, we could probably do that. If you want a shorter stream, we could do that too. If you want more specific instruction from Luca, we could do that.
Yeah, you guys shape the stream. I'm very arrogantly gonna say that I am a pretty good painter, so we can make the stream as much based on painting as you want. I can literally be quiet and explain what I'm doing and just that, or I can be a bit slower in the painting and focus a bit more on the philosophy of painting, if you guys care about that more. Of course, my brain power is limited because I'm an ape, as I said earlier, so I can't really paint super well, while at the same time I elaborate difficult discussions, so there has to be a choice made. You guys choose. You make the stream. I'm Italian. We are very good at changing sides, you know that. So like, I can change whenever I want. Yes, I'm actually painting, Alex. Can you believe that? Not even smoking, even though I would go for a cigarette right now. But no, I can't. I have to paint this puppet. I'm a good boy. I'm trying to figure out how I want the skin to be. I don't know if I like this yellowness in the skin. I probably need a bit more oranginess to be happening here. So, yeah, okay, this one works. I'm gonna be glazing a bit of a chestnut brown on top of the highlights to tone them down and take them more towards a red. Can we get him a couple of times a week? I'm down for that. I will not complain. Why am I going towards red? Because we have blood vessels in our bodies. And skin tone is one of the hardest things you can paint in mini painting. In my opinion, even harder than non-metallic metal. Like, some people will be like, oh, non-metallic metal is such a fancy technique, yada yada yada. It is, and painting a good non-metallic metal is extremely taxing for the brain, but skin tones are even more. One thing that's important to know about skin is that people are alive, usually. Depends, because in mini painting you can end up painting undead people, but when you're painting a living being, that being has blood vessels, right? And those blood vessels, unless the living being has some weird color in the blood, will be red, because the blood is red. So, be it a white person, or a black person, or a yellow person, or whatever person, they will be having red blood in them. So there always needs to be some red in the skin to show the liveliness of the body. So here I was going from a brown into a yellow, and I desaturated a bit too much. So it was looking kind of sickly. And I don't want that. I want this guy to look like a, you know, like a healthy black dude. So I need some of these red to be there. But I'm not gonna block it in like a layer, because I don't read actual red. I just need a hint of it. So I sketched in the values, because as I said, the most important kind of contrast is always the value. So I blocked in the value, and now I am doing a glaze to blend, and at the same time bring some of that red back to the model to have some actual live skin underneath it, right? And now I can go back to a highlight and push it a bit more. I think I need a bit of a whitish color. Let's go. A fair highlight is good. I did close the window though, and still we had a clown car in the background.
I
have no idea.
These are not actual clown cars, right?
No, they are ambulances.
Okay, just to clarify.
No, we don't. I mean, we don't have clown cars in Italy unless it's a politician car. In that case, it's a clown car. Sorry. I don't know salary.
That's not exclusive to Italy, though.
I mean, let's not get that. Let's not get there because otherwise, I'm actually gonna go into one of my famous rants. Politics is a topic that it's better left forgotten.
No, I completely agree. One of the chat rules about this channel, and I do want to maintain this no matter what show, is absolutely zero political at all.
Yeah, I agree,
right?
yeah.
We can get philosophical, we can do all kinds of stuff, but please no politics.
Yeah.
Or the discussion on whether or not we prime bones. We don't talk about that either.
Do you though?
No. that last one was kind of a joke because it does often. We have managed to talk about it on a few shows without it getting completely out of hand, but people will often. It's a very divisive topic. It seems. I never would have guessed, but it is. People have very different viewpoints on whether or not bones should be primed.
I personally prime it.
All I'm gonna say, right, is our official standpoint is that all you need to do is rinse your model in warm soapy water. What you do beyond that is completely up to you to relate in the initial topic we talked about when the stream started. So it's 100% up to what you want to do.
Sounds like a good statement.
It's as neutral as that sounds.
Okay. Lol, John.
Oh, geez, John, that would be hell to moderate.
Okay, so I'm pushing the Alex a little bit more. Again, everything is up in the air, by the way. Like, I am not done with anything. And I won't be done with anything until I call the model done. Stuff for me is always a work in progress. In a sense that I don't paint skin tone and be like, oh, the skin is done, let's move on to this thing, and then never touch the skin ever again. I will work on the model in its entirety for the whole duration of the paint job. Because sometimes, like, for now, maybe it looks alright, but then I paint the stuff, and then it looks awful for whatever reason. So I have to go back and change it. And it's important to be flexible in mini painting, I believe. I don't know, like there is one thing that I don't like from some tutorials. No, it's not really a problem with the tutorials itself. It's like how people perceive them. Like when you see a tutorial, you believe that that's the only way to achieve things. And then if you don't get what you wanted, you kind of feel like awful because you failed and then you stop doing it. And like, I believe it's one of the strong points of my painting stream is to show people that there are other ways to do things. So like, if you're following a guide and you're not getting the results you wanted, doesn't mean you should stop. It just means you should try going in a different direction. So be always flexible. It's important to be flexible. And this is how I paint too. I don't care, but in the right way to an extent. Like I'm okay if this skin tone doesn't look good, and I will be okay with it until it's done. Like I know that when the model will be done, the skin tone will look good. To be honest, I think it's looking alright for now. I don't think it's bad. I might wanna work a bit more on the teal for now. Just pause the skin tone and work on the teal, just to give myself an idea, but I don't think it's too bad. This is a plastic wild. Take care, Celery. I'll see you later, dude. I just started painting lately, and I'm having so much trouble creating a do-your-own web palette, even though I watched millions of tutorials on it. Can I plug my own YouTube channel real quick, Justin?
Yeah, go ahead.
I do have a guide on YouTube about wet palettes, if you want to check it out. I explain what makes a wet palette actually a good wet palette. So you know what to look for. Very easily though, like the way you make... Good night, Alex. The way you make a wet palette is just need a Tupperware container, a piece of paper. No, not paper, sorry. How do you call this? God damn it. What's the name of this? This is not
towel?
tissue. Paper towel. Sorry, man, my English today. Paper towel.
No problem.
You need a paper towel, and you fold it twice to make a little square. You slap it in the Tupperware container. You add water to soak the paper towel, and then you slap some parchment paper on top. It needs to be smaller sized than the paper towel itself. If it fits bigger, it can create problems, and then you're done. Like literally like that. It doesn't take any effort. You can also buy... Actually, you should make a wet palette, Reaper. You know this? People would buy it.
I agree. I'd like to have.
You should make a Miachu's Den wet palette. You know this?
Well, we did just do an airbrush, so.
Oh really? Oh yeah, I saw it. That's pretty neat.
You ever used an airbrush before?
Yeah, I do have an airbrush, but I just can't feel airbrushing. Like I have nothing against it, and people who paint big numbers of models like armies or stuff like that, I understand the use of airbrush, but I just am too lazy to whip it out, clean it every time, do all the work. Like I just would rather use a brush.
Do you ever use it to prime, or do you just use spray prime for that?
I use a spray primer for that. I use aerosol.
I see.
Okay.
Slight change of topic actually, since this is kind of a getting to know you stream. Are there any other hobbies you have other than painting that you enjoy?
I enjoy video gaming. I'm a very avid video gamer.
What do you play?
Pretty much everything. I used to play first-person shooters competitively, but then I ended up becoming old, and now I suck at them. Like, I used to be really, really good. Like, I was a pro player in Battlefield 2. Like, I was really good. And now I can't touch those games anymore because I just get wrecked constantly, and it gets maddening.
I actually play. I used to play back in the day. You probably could remember this. I used to play 1.6 Counter-Strike.
Oh yeah. Oh really?
I did, yeah. And I play CS:GO occasionally today, but the community is so bad that I just can't. I can't. It's hard to go from a community like this one, which is so wholesome and great, to that community, which is probably the closest thing to an embodiment of
Satan, yeah.
Yeah, it's bad. It's probably everything that's bad about the internet all in one place.
Yep. But also, yes, I love Darkest Dungeon, as the guys in chat are saying. I love management. Darkest Dungeon is one of my favorite games of all time. Have you ever played it?
Yeah, I played it when it first came out a long time ago.
You remember our venerable house? Opera Imperial. I love the narrator.
I played it when it first came out, and I'll be honest, it was one of those games that it was so browbeating that it's a good game. It just, after a while, I was like, I can't handle this anymore. Like, I just got to take a break, and I haven't played it since.
It is a tough game. It will punish you really freaking hard. Even when you don't make mistakes, it will still punish you just because it feels like it. I love it. Hello, Painting. How you doing?
The art style too. Holy
Dude,
crap.
yeah. Oh wait, I have something to show you. Ah, there we go. I got this guy from Etsy, and I painted it in the Darkest Dungeon style. Yeah, it's Dismas from the game.
I love that. That's great.
Yeah, I actually love painting in this style. It's so fun too. If you guys want to, one of these days I could do a little tutorial on how I paint. Maybe for the ReaperCon thing. I don't know. If we end up doing that, I could do it.
Awesome.
Okay, so we're doing good progress here. Everything will need a lot of refinement as we go, but for now I'm just blocking and things, getting myself to know the model a bit more. I probably want the blues to be darker. I don't want them to be so vibrant, especially in the bottom. So I'm just gonna take them down a notch, glazing some of these dark violet. Let me thin this a bit more. Okay. Towards the bottom. I'm gonna be killing some of the highlights. It's not a problem. I can always pick them up if needed to. But I would like to bring some more focus towards the chest and the face. So let's take down these highlights a little bit. You can use light to push the focal point, as I was saying earlier. And at the same time, shadows will help you with that as well. Yeah, Reaper Dragon's an amazing dude. Do I still have trunks? I do, actually. I don't want to show too many models that are in Reaper because I feel awful doing so.
It's okay, seriously. If you want to, you feel free to do so.
It's okay.
It showcases your ability and your talent, so that's.
I would love
never
to.
Gonna complain.
I would love to showcase it on your models though. Do I have a black actually? Yes, I do. Pure black from Reaper. Let's go. Shouldn't you be in bed, sir? No, it's 11 p.m. It's not very late. How you doing, Josh? This is the trunks the guys were talking about. This is my anniversary gift for my girlfriend actually. She loves trunks from Dragon Ball, and I got an action figure and I repainted it to match the anime style. I don't know how well you can see it.
That's fantastic. I love that.
But this is the cell shaded style. Zoom in on the face. Sure.
Yeah, the cell shaded. Looks so good. Yeah, I actually like Borderlands for that reason, because it's just that art style is. There's something about maybe it's the vibrancy of colors within that I like so much, because
it's the contrast. It's not the vibrancy. It's the contrast. Everything has a black line. Everything has a black line around it. Like stuff is encased in black, and that black that creates a silhouette around every detail creates an immense amount of contrast. The colors are vibrant, yes, but what really makes it be different is the strong contrast you have in every detail. Thank you, guys. My obsession caused this great foulness, and it is shameful that I must rely upon you to set it right. Trinkets and bubbles, paid for in blood. Sorry, I'm just quoting Darkest Dungeon. Damn you, Kiwi. Okay. Okay, let's try to give it a touch more light to this tail. Just gonna make a quick Naples yellow, and just boom, highlight. So I would assume that these straps he has here, I would make them in leather just to break the model a bit apart. So I'm just gonna leave them teal for now, but I'm gonna change the color later on when we get to it. By the way, guys, really, it's important that, I don't know, if the show comes to fruition, it is very important to have your feedback on what you want to see. Because the cool thing that separates this stream from my normal stream is that I'm not working on commissions here, which means you guys get to choose what you see rather than the client. So if you want to see specific models, if you want to see specific things, techniques, stuff like that, feel free to ask, because if Justin knows about it, he will be able to provide me with it, and I can paint it for you. Like if there are models you really love. One thing that could be cool, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Like, I thought it was cool, but maybe it isn't. I'm just gonna throw out the idea. Would be nice if I painted the Reaper challenge model. What do you think?
I like the idea.
But I wouldn't compete with it, of course. I would paint it maybe after the challenge. I don't know. That could be cool.
You could paint it concurrently and just have it be something that you're referring to the quarterly paint contest, right?
Yes.
Yeah, you could paint it concurrently, and that way, you know, during that month, or I'm sorry, during that quarter, whatever, however long it takes for you to paint it, people could stop in to kind of see what your, I say submission, but I mean, you could submit it if you wanted to, but it could be one of the honorary ones where like, hey guys, check this out. This is Miniature Den's version, right?
Yeah, that could be cool.
I think it would be cool. I think it's a good idea.
Also, Jay's idea sounds really cool. He says to use me as a guinea pig to showcase new stuff and try it out. I like trying new
Also
stuff.
that, yeah. No, yeah, John, that's what I was saying. Is he wouldn't actually enter. It would be more to just for posterity's sake to kind of show it off, right? So it's there.
Yeah, exactly, John. I wouldn't be interested in entering anyway. Like, I wouldn't feel right about it anyway. That's why I wasn't sure about even proposing the idea, because the quarterly contest is a celebration of the hobby. Like, throwing in a professional painter just doesn't sound right to me. So like, I wouldn't like to make it, I don't know, demeaning in some way. I don't know.
I think it would provide the contrast we keep talking about so much. I think not to say that there's gonna be necessarily a stark contrast between what you're doing and maybe.
Some of the entries I have seen, by the way, for the previous contests are amazing. Like Gimli,
Yeah, they're very good. Yeah.
One of the guys in chat right now, he's a very avid contestant, and he has been kept me informed about the contest a lot, and I've seen many of the entries, and some of the work you guys pull out is really, really interesting. So many cool ideas with the models too, like with the beetle, all of the people doing tattoos and really cool things on the beetle to make it more interesting was really, really nice. You guys have a lot of creativity. So well done.
That's another decent idea too, John. Actually, is where we do a Twitter poll essentially, and we kind of determine the model, and then everyone kind of paints along to kind of share ideas. And you could actually share concurrent photos if we put a show channel on the Discord, such that you use. I assume if you're available and not otherwise busy, because you do tend to be pretty busy, I imagine you wouldn't mind interacting with people on the Discord, right?
No, I would love to.
There we go. See.
Okay, you can see that the chest is now looking a lot better with this highlight, especially the belly. Look how rounded it looks now, because we have a very strong shadow and a gradient happening between the belly, creating a very good gradient, a good gradient at least, happening on the model. So now I'm just gonna glaze this down a little bit to blend it a bit more and to reduce the size of the highlight. And again, Reaper paints have this incredible quality, and I love Anne for it. They glaze so well, like it's a pleasure. Every time I end up glazing with these paints, I feel so good. Because like, it's easy mode, like straight up easy mode. You have to put zero effort and they blend. It's just stupid how good they are for this effect. They don't base coat too greatly, but you can solve that by using a bright primer. But holy cow, do they blend well. I love these paints so much. So yeah, we got ourselves a nice highlight. I can give you a close-up of the belly if you want to see it. You can see that the gradient is pretty neat, right? Didn't take me very much, but the mid-tone is blended pretty well with the highlight in just 2 brush strokes. So that's pretty neat. We can do the same with the shadow now. Get that to be blended in. When you blend, it's 2 things that are important, and I'm gonna be showing it on my end because I do it all the time. So like, I'm not gonna thin this paint. When you have paint on the brush, you place it on the model and you stroke it forward, right? Now, one thing to note is that when your brushstroke ends, the paint, like the start of the brushstroke is where you're gonna have the least amount of paint left on the model, and the end of the brushstroke is where you're gonna have the most paint left on the model. And this applies more and more and more the more you thin the paint. So like if you thin the paint a lot, you'll be able to see it more. You see that I'm leaving a puddle at the end of the brushstroke, right? So when you glaze, it's very important to direct the brushstroke towards the area where you want the most paint to be. And usually that means the area that matches the color you're glazing. So if you have a white and a black, and you find yourself with black on your brush, and you're glazing, you want to direct the brush towards the black, not towards the white. Otherwise you're gonna stain it with the little puddle. If you instead direct the brush towards black, I call it taking the paint home. This is my way of imagining it. It's like you are taking the paint home. So you go black to black, so you take it back home, right? So the puddle you're leaving at the end of the brush stroke just blends in with the mama color, so you won't be able to see it, right? So that's important when you're glazing. And the other aspect of glazing is that you want to have brush strokes that are next to each other, but overlap as little as possible. So like you have one brush stroke and one next to each other, like so, without overlapping. Because if you have them overlap, you will end up creating like little vertical stains, because it's the two layers overlapping. So that's what I do. That's what I'm doing here. I am simply doing the same thing I did on my hand, just on a smaller scale, not overlapping the layers, and just keeping the paints, taking them home. Take me home, Reaper bones, to the place I belong. Sorry, sorry. So yes, there's that. Hey Skidaddy, thank you for the sub, man. Take care, zombies left over, man. Have a fantastic night, dude. The piece between his belly and the beard is a leather piece. I'm just gonna base coat it for reference, so you guys will be able to not see it as a teal anymore, because it might be confusing. But this is just it's a strap, so I'm gonna treat it like a leather strap. Let me just quickly mix like a purpley color. Some random stuff. Reaper cover band, I would listen to. Let's go. Justin, do you want to sing with me?
Yeah, I'm here. Sorry, my fiance walked in the room, was talking.
Hello, Justin's fiance. How you doing? Get her on voice chat. Have her
Get
say
her
hello.
on voice chat? I don't know if she'll do that. She's walked in the other room.
No, I wanted to say hello to the Reaper people.
I think she should, actually. I think she has in the past when we did the home stream. I'm not entirely sure if she's ever actually... She's been in chat several times.
Okay. See, like, if I base coat them, you're gonna have a bit of a... less of a problem understanding why there is no light here. Because, like, yeah, it looked like I wasn't painting the teal thing, but it's just leather, so I believe it looks better as a leather to break up the model a little bit. So it can, you know, break up the model, as I said. If I kept it teal, it would be a bit boring to have like this blob of teal everywhere. Hello, Lil. How you doing? Take care, Kiwi. Have a great night, dude. See you later, man.
Lil is that's my fiance. She hopped in chat.
Hello, fiance. How you doing? We need a full cover of Country Roads called the Reaper Bones. I want to sing it. I want to sing at least a part of it, please.
Philosophy and singing. That's gonna round out the stream. We'll do a karaoke night one night.
Dude, that would be so cool. So now I am reviving some of the highlights on here. Again, as I said, in the philosophy of never being done and the philosophy of always being open to change things around, I did kill the highlights on the legs. Now I'm taking them back a little bit. Just a little bit though. I'm not bringing them back to how they were before, I did the darker glaze. But I really feel like they could use some more light, so I'm just going for it. And it's really fun to kind of speed paint like this. I don't know. Again, you guys tell me. Your feedback is paramount. I don't know if you want me to see... If you want to see me do some small, short, long, methodical painting, where I touch everything like to competition level, or you are fine with this, because I'm painting fast because I know we don't have too much time tonight. So like, I also don't know if there's gonna be another stream, so like, I just want to show you some things. But, I don't know, if you like this kind of quick, sort of like high tabletop, maybe display for some painting, I can do this. Or if you want to, I can take a very slow and methodical approach. Thank you, Skidaddy. Glad you like him, dude. Yeah, teal is a fun color to work with. I also enjoy highlighting teal with yellow. I think it makes it pop even more. Let's paint the beards. I'm just gonna base coat it with a black. Having this white there is boring.
You have a good stream, by the way, Sky, since you're in here. Sky, by the way, Luca, is someone else we've kind of been talking to, and you could potentially see a guest stream with her in the future.
Oh, really? What does she do?
She does body painting. But,
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, she does a lot of nerdy body painting, so I think that's what caught our eye originally.
I definitely don't have the body to body paint. I look like a ravioli.
I do. There would just be a lot of canvas.
My nose actually is a very good place to body paint. There's a lot of space here. I could paint like the Sistine Chapel on my nose. Like you could have like God and Adam like on both. That would be amazing.
You know, I wish that were the first time the Sistine Chapel had come up in a Reaper stream this week, but it's not, unfortunately.
It's not really. People mention it
That would
often.
be the second time, yeah.
That's pretty cool. We are a
Well,
well-learned people. Okay. Base coating the beard just gave it a bit more place. What I do see though is that even though I like the highlights I did on the teal, which means I don't want to tone them down to match the value of the skin tone. But what I do know is that I want the skin tone to have a higher value than the teal. The reason why I want it to have a higher value is so the skin pushes and looks more interesting. So what I'm gonna be doing, just straight up, is just gonna sketch in some very strong light. Because I think I need a higher value. Now, this guy is a black dude, but that doesn't mean white doesn't happen on the skin. It just means it happens on a very small scale. So we're gonna be having a lot of white right now, but I'm gonna kill it in a moment. Lower it. Shiny Boldad, best Boldad, yes. Thank you, Sean. How long have I been painting? How long have I been live?
We are at 143 currently, I believe. 149.
Okay. Yeah, for an hour and a half, sort of. It's a good progress, I think.
I agree.
Okay. With the strong allies placed in, we can take him down again. With a bit of a glaze. And this is a very thing, it's a thing that's... Okay, this is a big tip I'm about to give you guys, but I'm gonna do it just because I love you. One of the biggest strengths of Reaper paints is the glazing. Which means that rather than attempt to base coat the paints, it's a lot smarter to sketch in the values with blacks and whites and then glaze on top. So like, what I'm doing here is, I blocked in the strong highlights with white, and now I'm glazing them down with this yellowish tone, this maple yellow tone, kinda. And that makes the highlight blend with the skin tone a bit more, as well as providing me an highlight. Right? And it's faster than blocking in the straight color, because white is a way more powerful color. Now, I'm struggling a little bit with this skin. I don't know if I like it. I don't know. Because dark skin tones are very, very tough to paint. I need smaller highlights, I believe, to make it work. Because I do need, like, I'm losing the mid-tone a little bit. The mid-tone in an object is what defines the color of the object. Like, you see an apple and you think it's red because the mid-tone is red. Even though the highlights are white and the shadows are black, the apple is red because the mid-tone is red. So, and the mid-tone usually is the color that is most prominent. That doesn't mean that the highlights aren't there, it just means that they cover less space. So, you'll see that as I glaze this brownish color over the skin tone, it will look black, even though I'm not touching the highlights. He's gonna look more like a black person, just because I'm retouching the mid-tone. Again, in the philosophy of never being done, and there's nothing wrong in touching up your model. There is no failure. The real failure is calling something done when it isn't, then fixing what's not done, right? So like, since we have time, and we're just chilling together, I have no rush in getting this guy done, so might as well just gonna stipple the glaze here. Doesn't matter what I do, Reaper paints are just basically painting the model by its own. When it comes to glazing and blending, Reaper paints basically paint on their own. They don't care about you. They just do the stuff. Like, look how, like, he's looking black now, right? Just because I modified the mid-tone. And I can do the same thing here too. But I'm not touching the highlights too much. So the value of the light is the same, and it's also the same color. But by changing the mid-tone, I am changing the skin tone. He was looking a bit Hispanic, maybe a bit on the Hispanic side. But now, as I glaze this darker brown, it's looking more and more, I don't know, black. And that's all in the mid-tones. Exactly, Skidaddy. No mistakes, just happy accidents. Stripping time? Got that. Lord, he said it because he knows that I do strip my models quite often. When I'm trying things out, I do end up stripping them sometimes. No, I'm not gonna strip it. I promise. Like, for example, this lady here, I stripped her like 3 times before. No, I stripped her 2 times. I redid the painting 2 times before I actually was happy with her. But that's what I do, kind of like. I don't like pieces like since I'm a commission painter. That means that people pay me to paint stuff for them. I don't like people to have models I'm not happy with. So I will work on them as long as I'm happy, even if it means spending more time on it than I anticipated. Thank you, Skidaddy. Glad you like her. What kind of body painting are you gonna have her do on stream here, Justin?
It would be more something like, I think she would just be painting like our miniatures, because she's shown interest in painting the Rock. I think Rocky the Treasure Dragon, as well as just painting for the first time ever. And
that's cool.
Yeah, it just may be on stream, really, when she's comfortable with it. But yeah, see, she wants to paint Rocky, and I honestly, if I could get an actual hard verification on it, I think personally, in a nutshell, it would be really cool to have her do an actual body paint style with our paints. If you know, but I can't confirm that they're actually body safe, so it's unlikely ever going to happen. But if I could, that would be the obvious direction.
I don't know if I can testify, but I've eaten your paints quite a lot, and I haven't grown a 3rd eye yet, so I guess they aren't too bad.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, and we do have a lot of as it were in the community, brush lickers, who have probably consumed a fair amount of our paint, but at this moment, I just don't know that it's possible. But as soon as I have the verification, she'll be the first person to put that amount of our paint, I think, on their body, putting brush lickers to shame.
Dude, you're challenging me. I'm gonna have a sub goal where I take a bath in your paints now, and then post it on OnlyFans.
I'll post it on your OnlyFans. You know what, Sky Daddy? I have an idea for something like that. Message me later. I'm kind of ahead of you there on what I would like to have done, if you're willing, of course. I think it would be apt for a particular event.
Ooh, a particular event.
Yes, possibly ReaperCon if she's available.
Ooh, that would be cool.
Speaking of which, I know we kind of briefly talked about it, and I kind of talked to you about maybe teaching a Twitch class during ReaperCon, for ReaperCon. Sorry, what have you put any thought into what you think you might want to teach?
The people have to choose. We can give them. We can make a poll here in the chat during one of my streams, maybe, and just have like, I don't know, non-metallic gold, non-metallic silver, skin tones, or comic book style like the one I showed earlier. This guy, yeah. People might be interested in this.
My vote, and I feel like that's because maybe we haven't had it either in a long time or ever, would be something like comic book style, something that's really out of the box and not expected.
That sounds good.
I think something like that on Twitch would be really helpful too, because it helps. Once again, it's how you interconnect these these different communities, where someone who may not know anything about miniature painting could watch it and go, "Hey, that's Trunks, right?" And like, "Whoa, look at that! That's cool!" And then next thing you know, they're checking out miniature painting, and our community has grown.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely agree, man. That's kind of one of the reasons why I painted Trunks in the first place. I mean, it was a gift for my girlfriend, but also because I felt it could be useful to get people interested in the action figure world, to figure out that maybe that action figures could be painted a bit better than what a machine does, you know? And you can really bring out the character of the model, because like the Trunks model, the original looks horrible. Like it doesn't look horrible, but it's not very good. Like it's like it has no charisma in it. Like it looks
mass produced, right?
Yeah, like one thing that it's very minor about this guy, but I do want to share it with you guys. It's the eyes. Like it took me forever to get the eyes right, to get the real Trunks look. You know what I mean? Like, it took me forever to get it, because like it's difficult to match the style of the anime. Like while the model when I got it had like this blank stare, he looked like he was on drugs, which it's good for him, I guess, but it's not exactly the look he has.
I agree. I mean, I think that a good example of this too, and you're familiar with Anne, right?
Yes.
She actually took. Are you familiar with Overwatch?
Yep.
She took a Blizzard Soldier 76 statue, like one of the big ones, and she put, I think, a couple hundred hours into it. She stripped it completely, I believe. And then, or maybe she painted over top. I don't remember the details, but she repainted it as well, and it looks insane. In fact, I did some photography for the piece to send to Blizzard for her when she had it done, because she wanted to send it to them and kind of show them for like a contest or something. So if you go for Anne's show, if you ever get a moment, you should ask her to show it on stream if she can. And it's insane looking.
Yeah, it's something I would love to do. Like, those who know me know that I am the kind of person who feels very tight in an environment when that environment sticks around for too long. Like, I'm always looking to change things around. Like, I don't like painting the same. Like, for example, I have an immense amount of respect for people who manage to paint Space Marine armies their whole life. It's like, dude, after the third Space Marine, I would literally throw the models from the window and go play, I don't know, hockey for a living. Like, I don't know how they manage to, because like the repetitive aspect of it, just, I don't like it. So like, I always try to find new venues of, express myself. And when I painted Trunks, I had a blast. I learned so much from him too. Like, it's insane. The stuff I learned from Trunks is I could write a book of like 60 pages on it, like, and just so many things can be learned with just paint with 3 colors. Like it's insane. Like you might think that paint job is very simple, and it is, but I mean, it took me 6 hours to paint at the end of the day. But like the things I learned on it, an incredible amount. Painting and costume, I have painted like dressed up the like Jasmine once. I was beautiful. I wasn't beautiful. I looked terrible. Yeah, exactly. Reaper minis are amazing because of that. Because you go from a chubby monk to a very sexy looking vampire lady to the anti-paladin to the ninja guy. Like, it's cool for that. You have Jacob Jensen, dude. Like, look how sexy he is. What is it? I lost him. Damn it. I lost Jacob. Okay. Look how sexy Jacob is. Like, he's so beautiful with his specs and his little talk to the hand kind of stare. Like, he's beautiful, man.
I agree.
It's fun. Yes, you will find my guide on miniature painting in the Miniatures Den approved palette, soon to be released on Reaper's store. I'm
feel like
joking.
I haven't seen Jacob in a while too. Well, I feel like I haven't seen him in chat in a couple of days, maybe even a week. It's been a minute. I wonder if he's been busy or not.
Stuff is a bit hectic right now in the world.
Absolutely.
When did you go online? Like 2 hours ago, Bifoots.
Yeah, I was actually about to say I would say I guess get to a kind of a round out point here in the next few minutes.
No, I can call it, like, again, since my method of painting has really no milestones in it, I just go. We can call it done now if you want.
All right. Well then, I would say then we can spend a few minutes here kind of chatting with the audience on what they thought of the stream and kind of the things they want to see going through. I know we've asked that a couple of times now, but it's important because I do think this should be a community-driven type of stream. I think it works well that way. So.
Yep. I am down to do whatever you guys like to. I just enjoy the company. It's fun to have Justin here with me and you guys in chat. So whatever you guys want to.
How about if we could, Planer, I don't know if you've made a channel in our Discord yet for Miniatures Den, but why don't we put a placeholder in for this show so that people can kind of get in and talk to one another, and we can kind of toss around some ideas in the interim. You know, we can get some outreach. Thank you, Planer.
It is fun to bounce things around with people, Ordista. That is true. It's fun to have a co-host. We might do something like this for my normal stream too, like have a weekly stream where maybe one of the viewers show up and chat with me. It's fun.
I like the idea, actually. We could bring people in. John offered to come in earlier too to kind of hang out and chat with us as well.
Thank you, Rim. Thank you, man.
No, it's great. It is. I really enjoyed it. Next thing too I would ask is, do you have anyone in mind? Oh, actually, hold on real quick. Let me see if they're online, which I think she's supposed to be. Anne is supposed to be going live about this time, and I think we're going to be rating her. And actually, she's the one, you probably already know this, but she's the one who designed and created the Reaper paint line.
Ah,
so
Little Anne doing her affiliate stream. Yeah, let's go say hello to her.
Okay. All right. Well, then, I guess, guys, to keep the conversation going, oh, he did just get on. To keep the conversation going, if you guys want to, hop into the Discord, say hi to Lucas, say hi to myself even, and just, kind of bounce around ideas for the show.
I also have my own Twitch channel.
That's true, and Miniatures Den has his own.
It's here.
Go ahead.
You can check it out if you want. If you want to hang out with me there. Thank you guys so much for having me. It was a blast. I had a very good time. I hope we can do it again because it was fun. I really had a good time.
It was. We had a blast. I really enjoyed it.
All right. So should I go offline? I don't know. Are you the one raiding, or am I the one raiding?
I'll be the one sending us off on the
Okay.
into the sunset here.
Okay.
Let's ride this alpaca into the sunset together, Luca.
Yes, let's go. Let's go together, you and I.
All right, start the raid.
Take care, everybody. Have a fantastic night. I will see you later. Okay? Take care of yourselves.
Yes.
I hope you enjoyed
Spread
this.
the Reaper love. Keep being awesome. That's important. And a massive round of love and thank you for Luca for doing a stream for us today to kind of test things out. It's important. So
It was super
thank you
fun.
guys very much.
Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.
Take care.